fans Beyond Wrestling. This is Denver, Colorado, the man, not the place. Got a special presentation for you today. The Top Rope Promotions live event from the Luxury Box in Seekonk, Massachusetts. Got two MMA fighters, Cold Steel Chuck O'Neill, the Dream Catcher, Eric Spicely, who've been training with Biff Busick as part of the Biff Busick wrestling camp for the past 3 months. Now they're set to make their professional wrestling debut. We've got Cold Steel Chuck O'Neill in the blue and orange trunks, Eric Spicely in the black and red. Of course, both of these competitors fight regularly for CES MMA, the largest mixed martial arts organization in New England. But here tonight, they're going to be mixing up in the world of professional wrestling. Obviously, one thing that's going to set MMA versus pro wrestling apart is that if your shoulders are pinned to the mat for 3 seconds, you're going to lose. That's not a rule in MMA. That's one of the primary distinctions between MMA and professional wrestling. So it's going to be interesting to see how they have to adjust their styles, since many of the holds that they can apply on the mat can't be utilized from that position. So Eric Spicely getting in the face of Cold Steel Chuck O'Neill. These two are training partners. Of course, with both of them making their professional wrestling debut, knowing that this is going to be broadcast to a worldwide audience. YouTube.com/BeyondWrestling. There's a lot at stake here. And perhaps Chuck O'Neill with the strength advantage, as it looked like Eric Spicely was going for an armbar. Instead, he got sent tumbling overhead, crashing down to the mat. And now right away, trying to go for that arm breaker, floating over beautifully. But Chuck O'Neill, quick to block and counter, finds himself potentially in a triangle hold, but this is one of those maneuvers I was talking about. Spicely had to keep his shoulder off the mat. He could not fully apply that hold. And Chuck O'Neill, very powerful, was able to bring his opponent back up, but Spicely able to apply the side headlock. Now grinding away the head of the neck, controlling the head, controlling the body of Chuck O'Neill, who's trying to find a counter. There we see that clinch, and striking with the knees to the abdomen. Now with a judo throw, holding onto the arm, and applying pressure on the wrist. Of course, applying pressure to the wrist, but not doing much to keep his opponent grounded. As we see Eric Spicely is now trying to mount and come back. Able to get back up to his feet, caught him with that gut punch. And now he's applying more pressure to the wrist, a more traditional professional wrestling hold. Not the type of maneuver that you're going to win with, but you can certainly weaken your opponent, as we saw right there. As Chuck O'Neill did not have the strength to counter that throw. And now with the knee position in the shoulder, I think that Eric Spicely is trying to bend that arm. Perhaps at the shoulder, perhaps at the elbow. Difficult to tell from my vantage point. Referee Kevin Quinn doing his best to call this match. As Chuck O'Neill now using those powerful legs to drive Spicely into the corner. But he got caught with the knee. Being admonished by the referee. No clean break, but didn't take too much time taking his eyes off his opponent. And now looking for that rear waist lock as Chuck O'Neill maintaining contact with the leg with a waist lock of his own now. Look at the positioning as Eric Spicely not only finding a counter, was able to take down his opponent. Chuck O'Neill, though, as we can see, very, very strong legs. He is the current CES welterweight champion. And now trying to mix it up in the world of professional wrestling. Oh! Getting dumped on his head. That's not a move that you're going to see in the octagon. Floating over, and only good for a 2 count. Very smart Eric Spicely, not allowing too much separation as he's going for an armbar once again. This time trying to apply pressure at the point of the shoulder. One of the benefits that these two competitors have that they wouldn't have in the world of mixed martial arts is that if they're unable to find a counter, they can get over the ropes to break the hold. But as you can see, Cold Steel Chuck O'Neill not looking to take the easy way out, instead applying that head scissors. He's got those legs wrapped around his opponent's chin. And Spicely trying to find himself in a position where he can get back on his feet, instead taken over with a monkey flip thrown into the ropes. Chuck O'Neil missing wildly with that clothesline. Oh, and dumped again. Very high angle throw. That's the second one that we've seen out of the Dreamcatcher. Floating over and trying to hook the inside of the leg. Did not have enough coverage on the shoulders. This match will continue. See Eric Spicer starting to get a little bit frustrated, but now trying to go back to that arm. Really trying to wear down Chuck O'Neil. Decided to give up on the hold to transition, perhaps something a little bit more effective. He's got that front chancery applied. And now look at that, the way that he's hooking his opponent, keeping him in position and driving that knee into the ribs. Another shot before transitioning back into that chancery. Really trying to weaken Chuck O'Neil, put him to sleep, but just like that, we see the reversal, but before he can really do too much damage, Spicy's back on top. These two guys going hold for hold, so they know each other very well. Certainly a bit of a refreshing presentation to see some of these mixed martial arts hold applied in the world of professional wrestling. It's incredible the way these two are able to blend the styles seamlessly. It's not something that you're treated to too often. And now we see the Irish whip hard into the buckle and popping those hips, throwing his opponent all the way across the ring. Almost scraping the ceiling here at the luxury box. Again, those more high-impact throws are foreign in the world of MMA, but can certainly be utilized here in the professional wrestling ring. I think the expression on Eric Spicely's face tells the entire story. And Chuck O'Neil, perhaps looking to finish things off, sizing up his opponent, taking down that knee pad, nothing but skin and bone. Charging in, caught him right in the chest with that knee. Spicely's doubled over in the corner, couldn't get out of the way of the second attempt. And Chuck O'Neil, perhaps taking a little bit too much time, letting that moment sink in. Spicely sidesteps him. Oh, look, a caught right in the face. I think he knocked him out. 1, 2, 3. And Cold Steel Chuck O'Neil victorious in his professional wrestling debut.